Hi, hi, hi. Welcome to this week's edition of Saturday Night Live. It's lisalyle here supporting our Thrive. Anyways, not sure how long we'll be here tonight. It's been a interesting couple of days, a lot of intense emotional stuff coming up. Not really my stuff personally, but around me in the workspace, there's been a lot of stuff taking place. And so I just feel really tired this evening. Well, it's 11:45 and I've just driven home in a snowstorm. It's so nice. It's going to be perfect for snow angels tomorrow morning. I am so excited. Who knows? Maybe I'll go and do some after this, run across the street to the park and lay down some snow angels. Anyways, for those who don't know, my name is lisalyle. This is my channel here on YouTube. A very warm welcome to you. Whenever you're arriving here, I trust that there will be something here for you. These messages are really timeless and they're shared with the intention of supporting you on your howdy, creatrix. How's it going? These messages are intended to support you whenever you find them for where you are on your spiritual journey, your awakening and your healing, because that's really what it's all about. It's what we're here for. So, a couple of things. Let's just get this Palo Santo going. At this time, I'd like to ask that I'm a clear and pure channel to bring through messages from Source Divine, loving, and kind. So, one of the things I've really been pondering in the last 24 hours or so is the fragility of life. And it's, there is a lot going on. And for sure on Tuesday, I'm going to take some time and really, what do I have going on Tuesday? Oh, Tuesday night live. And on Tuesday night, we're going to talk a lot about our coming full moon. So we have a full moon coming on Wednesday, the 12th of February, in the sign of Leo. It's the Leo full moon, also known as the snow moon. And this one feels really important. My moon is a Leo. And so, as I had mentioned, as was coming through at the end of the Gregorian year of 2024, that the moon cycles this coming Gregorian year. Hi, Jen, welcome. Hey, sis, how's it going? How is it going? There were a lot. The moons are really important this year, and we were really encouraged to work with the moon according to our moon sign. So, we all have a sun sign and we all have a moon sign, and we have our ascendant, and we have Venus somewhere in our chart, and all of this stuff. This year, I was guided to pay particular attention to working with the moon as a Leo moon, as opposed to a Virgo sun, if that makes any sense. So a few things started coming through with respect to this full moon just before I went to the job today. So what I was guided to write, heart of the matter. So this moon is encouraging us to get to the heart of the matter. And what is the matter? We are the matter in this lifetime. We often talk about the hive mind, and the other day, I believe I brought up MK Ultra. Anyways, what came to mind today, and what I was guided to write, hive mind equals collective oppression. So when we get into this, hive speak and group think, we're really just following a narrative. It's almost like we're walking into a trap that has been set for us. and it's fed to us through media, right? The mainstream media, all, like, tomorrow is a big day. There's that big football game that's happening tomorrow with that what kind of a show should we call it in the middle? I would say it's rather demonic. We'll see. I mean, I don't really watch that kind of stuff anymore, but I'm sure, through social media, we'll see the stuff. And that brings me to the point where this is about us holding our frequency. This is about, at this time where we're in this process of shedding, as we wrap up this year, truly, because the new year will be born with the spring. So as we wrap up this year, you and I, those of us that are gathered here, we're doing the inner work, as well as we're shedding, we're releasing that skin that we no longer feel comfortable in. And to stay in that skin would surely mean, I'm guided to say soul death, yet our soul is eternal. So not truly a soul death. It's almost like the death of the human that is home for the soul. If we're not going for our dreams, if we're not shedding the skin, if we're not going for, our heart's desire, then are we really living? So that brings me to the question that came up when I was tuning into this moon today. And the question is, what are your default settings? And recently, in recent weeks, I've had the opportunity to witness one of my default settings. I'm so proud because I really feel like I wanted to react in a certain way, and I wanted to behave in a certain way because, it just felt so, important and so right for me. And like, it just felt like a perfect situation. And yet I saw a pattern that was presenting itself, and a behavior that wanted to present itself to help Lisa out. And that behavior, that pattern has been broke. Yeah. And that pattern was, it may crop up again. And this time I'll recognize it easier. And so it's really empowering for us as we move through this. It's like an alchemical time that we're living in. And so maybe that's a question that we're being encouraged to ponder with this full moon, is what are our default settings? What are our go-to reactions? Break the pattern. And this moon, it's the Leo moon, jazz hands on a Saturday night. Leo wants to be in the spotlight. Leo wants to be the star of their own show. And imagine if we all took that attitude in life, and we were literally showed up in our life on a daily basis as the star of the show, and we're actually playing all the roles. And when we can recognize that, then we can begin to truly, it feels personally for me that we can begin to truly come into our divine power. And let me tell you a beautiful story. So the other day, Frank has been around so much since he visited me in November 21st. So that visit was the third that I've had from him. And it was like a beautiful message just for me. And since that time, it's like Lisa's got her groove back. I'm really feeling inspired again. And I'm really, spending time consciously on a daily basis, connecting with my team. Not that I wasn't always connecting with my team, because I live my life in a way where it's all spiritual. Like, there is not many other components to life than the spiritual awakening. There is no death, the goddess Isis. This is perfect. And the reason I pulled this card is we're going to get a year on that. But like, I want to finish this story. So Frank's presence has been all up and around and, like encouraging me to really nurture those connections again that are the most supportive to me, which is that with my spirit team. And mainly God. God is my go-to, the ultimate source, right? And I feel like that should be like, that is a good practice for all of us, direct to source, direct to God, who loves us unconditionally. For the God to which our soul is tethered in this lifetime via our heart. So Thursday, when I went to work, I wore a particular pair of earrings, and it's a pair of earrings that Frank had bought me. It was the last gift that he had given me. And they're beautiful peridot, and they hang quite long, and they have this beautiful, nice piece of peridot at the bottom of them in a really beautiful sterling silver setting. Anyways, I came and I wore a hat his mom made for me and a neck warmer that his mom made for me. I work in a cold environment. So anyways, when I came home, I know Frank is so awesome. I mean, he is super freaking awesome. It's hard to believe. I love the man more, just, I guess, the memory of him more today than I did 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And he's very, very close. So I wore these earrings. I came home. One of the first things I do is take my earrings off, and I took my right earring out and I went to the left ear, and there was no earring. I already lost an earring this week, my wolf paw, when I was doing laundry, one of them. And so I was so devastated. And that would have been the second item of jewelry I lost. I lost a pendant in Mexico shortly after he passed. And that was like losing him all over again. Anyways, I said, I must go back. I looked through everything, couldn't find it. I must go back and check at work on Friday. Didn't see it there Friday. Today, I walk out back with a girlfriend at break, and we're standing there, and I look down, and what's on the ground? My earring! Oh my gosh, my friggin' earring intact. It was perfect. I gotta show you. Let me just grab this earring. It's right here. Oh my gosh. So. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, fully intact, nothing. I think it was little. It's perfect. 1331 there. Mirror image. This is also speaking about this time, but it's so perfect. And I was just like, since I found the earring tonight, I couldn't take the smile off my face. My friend, who's actually my supervisor there at work, who could be my daughter, she was just like, oh, Lisa, because it's like, it was really freaking magical. And I had actually forgotten that I was supposed to look for it. I looked for it yesterday and didn't find it. And then it just like left my mind, as most things do. It left my mind, and there it was. So what I'm guided with this card, first of all, this is what we're working with, this Leo energy. And this is like divine masculine or masculine. And then I saw 1331, which is the divine feminine. And speaking about Frank, I mean, Frank was, he was a true gentle alpha man. He was a beautiful, beautiful soul. And very, I feel so lucky to have had those brief few years with him loving up on me and seeing the real me and allowing me the exchange, the reciprocity was beautiful. And so I love that his presence is around as we're approaching this Leo moon. And then we get Isis that comes out, and this is like the divine mother. You know, the one who nurtures and loves unconditionally via the daily practice of showing up for herself. She knows her role. And I feel like the message is here. The message here is about us knowing our role. And then this card comes out, enlightenment, pursue spiritual growth. What else are we here for? I don't know. I just said that, right? I just said that for me, everything about life is spiritual. Like there's no aspect of life that isn't a part of the spiritual awakening. I'm feeling with this enlightenment card, I'm feeling Archangel Michael, his presence a lot, and the presence of the beloved. Here we have the swans. Are they swans? Oh, they're elephants. Oh my gosh, maybe I need glasses. Oh my gosh, I literally thought they were swans in the air. That's ridiculous. But there's a reason that I saw that. They're elephants, and elephants, you know, are they're symbols of wisdom. They're symbols of the group, like the I don't know what they call an elephant pack. Is that what they're called? Um, and elephants, you know, we were talking about them at work the other day. They, for generations, they travel the same area generation after generation after generation. And so it really feels like this is about our the work that we're doing here now, the joy that we experience here now, all of it, the pain that we heal here now is really supportive of generational wealth and health and enlightenment. Like I imagine the world one day where all children, from the word go, they just know how beautiful and how special they are. And as the adults in their life, we don't encourage them to be anything other than what they are. Because I feel like that's what we're all working through, right? At some point in time in our life, early in our life, we were either told or via actions or words of adults in our life, we were told that some part of ourself perhaps was too much or too little or not good enough, or, you know, whatever it was. And we operated from that place. I'll say the emotional upset that you know we've experienced at work is one of our colleagues lost her grandson, her 13-year-old grandson, yesterday. And 13, grade 8. And I'm not going to really go into details or anything like that. It's not really truly my story to tell. All I will say is that it's really important for us adults, those of us who are spiritually aware and continuing to awaken, and we're pursuing spiritual growth in the entirety of the experience. It's really important that we keep going and that we don't lose hope. They're asking me to look at the bottom card. That we don't lose hope, and that we keep doing the work. We keep showing up for ourselves. We keep going through the process of shedding. We keep pursuing the spiritual growth. We keep deepening our, I guess, deepening our devotion to being a positive drop within the ocean of consciousness, because like what we do ripples on and on and on and on, negative or positive. And this sad situation that's occurred is going to have long-term life-changing impact on many people, and not just the immediate family. Right. Yeah. And, as a mom, I know as a mother, I was the type of mother, and, people in my life that have known me my whole life couldn't believe I was like such a soft mom, right? Because for many years, up into my up into my 20s, and maybe up until like 30, I went through life. I had kind of a rough and tough exterior, from the word go. Like I said, I've been making my own choices and decisions since 1984. And, yeah. And so from the age of 25, I began to grow up. And at 25, I probably had the emotional maturity of a 14-year-old or something. And so, it takes time. And so when I did have my son, I wanted to do it all different. Did I do it all different? Not entirely. Not entirely. Did I ever put these paws upon my child in a way that was, aggressive or harmful? No. And so, we break the cycles in some ways, and then in some ways that, the wheel does turn, and the cycle, repeats until we actually are able to break it. And, I would like to think that we're well on our way to doing that. I'm really guided to notice the number on this card, which is 37. And as you know, I'll see that as a 10. It was 4 2s across there. Trust your intuition. You are more than capable and qualified to stand on your own 2 feet and be the director of your life, or at least be the creative co-director of your life. And allow the wheel to turn, give yourself the permission to get off the wheel, break the patterns that are deeply ingrained. They're neurological pathways and response mechanisms in our body and at work. So yesterday we went from all being incredibly like sad, tears and hugs and this kind of stuff, feeling very sad for our friend. And by the end of the shift, another colleague is a little firecracker and was like jacked up and it was not good. So it's like how do we support ourselves when the pendulum of life is constantly swinging? And we do that by showing up for ourselves, seeing the patterns. And remember, the messages that have been coming through are about gentleness. Can we stay I can't speak tonight. Can we stay soft in a world that seeks to harden us, that seeks to separate us, you against me, us against them against us? It's all bullshit. It's us against ourselves. It's us against ourselves all the time. Would anyone agree with that statement? Anyone that's here? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I say it all the time. You're looking at a miracle. You're looking at a real live miracle. Really? There's a reason. There's no doubt a reason I'm here. No doubt a legion of angels headed up by the big guy himself saved my life. back in March of 2021. So there's a reason I'm here. I know that. And I guess it's time for us to all start showing what we know as we continue our pursuit of spiritual, all things spiritual. Every bone in this little body is spiritual. Every bone in your little body is spiritual. And so allow yourself to be led by the gentle calling of your heart and the playful calling, or the even the fearful calling of the child within, right? Like show up as the mother, and as the, if you're a man, show up as the father for the child that lives within. Because if you don't, who will? And I keep hearing, like, let love win. Let love win. So let's see what year. I'm curious about this year. Did I? Yeah, I put that here. So that card is from the Starstream Oracle, and I just love the artwork. And I love all these paintings were done in a particular year, and the way I've been guided to work with this deck is just going back to that year and seeing if I can pinpoint something in my life at that time that could be coming up for clearing, facing, healing at this time. So let's see. Oh my gosh, my eyes. There we go. 1992. Oh, Rena, hi. Hi, sis. How's it going? Welcome to our Saturday Night Live. It's actually Sunday morning live here now. We're after midnight here. But this is from 1992. So I was 32 that year. Were you alive that year? If you were, how old were you? I'm happy you caught me too. Good to see you. Good to have you here. 92. You were 9. Okay. Wow, baby. 9. Yeah, I was 32 that year. No, 32. No, 92. Did I say 92? No, I was 22. Oh my gosh. I can't even do math. Yeah. So it was 30 years ago. It was like 32 years ago, 33 years ago now. So yeah, I said 32. No, you said 32. Yeah, I know. I was 22. I was born in 1970. So I was 22 years old. I was married at the time, on my way to divorce. I'm usually pretty good at math. I don't know. I feel like a little, not, I think it's just an unsettled energy that's about. What are we talking about? Addictions here? Lots of addictions. Yeah. Yay, look at the sisters are all gathered. Yay. So the message from the goddess Isis here is nothing really dies, it just changes form. And we know that. Listen to this little dog. Here, are you coming up, Lou? I did a lot of growing up. I did a lot of drinking and blacking out in 92. That's what I did. I was playing a grown up. I had a house though. Had a house and had a house, had a husband. Living out in it was quite rural at that time. It's not so rural now. It's about 20 minutes down the street. Living out in Bowmanville, Ontario. Yeah. So, and the growth that we've done since then, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, a chef. I need a chef. I'd like a personal chef. Although I do like to cook too. And I'm a pretty good cook. I just, some days I wish, and that was one of the things I loved about, Frank and I as well, was like the teamwork. It was just like the teamwork made the dream work. We did our own things. We each had our roles. We knew what our roles were. And then we came together to do like fun things like prepare a meal on, a Saturday night and sit and play some backgammon, real exciting stuff. Real exciting stuff. That's arf. Yeah, this is Luna. Luna's going to be 12 in March. Oh, she's camera shy. She's so cute. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not that I don't have help. My son, I have to say, like in recent weeks, my son's really stepped up. He's been, pulling his weight around here, and it's been a really nice thing. I miss the companionship of having an adult male in my life. I have my female friends and stuff, and a small circle of female friends. I really miss having my, a human that I know has got my back and stuff. I can do it. I can do it on my own. I've been doing it on my own for years. I just don't want to, right? And I never imagined, after meeting Frank and all of that, I never imagined that a few short years later, he would be making his transition and I would be back on my own again, That makes me think of a song. Can anyone think of the song I'm thinking of? Here I go again on my own. Is that Whitesnake? Yeah, and I remember, after Frank died, I had no interest. I've really had no interest in connecting. Although it was 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, I said, you know what? Like, I'm ready, because I don't want to be alone. Like, I was young. Like, when Frank died, I was 48. And, right? Whitesnake. Wasn't it Tawny Curtain that was on the dancing on the hood of the car in that video? So anyways, I've been open to connection and meeting someone, and, I'm not really interested in doing like the dating app thing, all that kind of stuff. Like, I just want to meet someone, and like anyways, I have complete faith that everything that is meant for me is coming to me, and it's going to be amazing. And yeah, it'll be nice, to have a little bit of help and companionship, and, someone to have conversations with as we continue to pursue our spiritual growth. And yeah, I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. Like, I'm kind of like, I am an old school girl. I always said I could, Little House on the Prairie's kind of my style. Like, it's not really my style, but, like, I like the simplicity of life. I'm not into games. I'm not really into bullshit. I'm not into casual sex. I'm not into, hooking up and any of that kind of stuff. It's really quite low vibrational. And I'm as one walking a spiritual path, I walk with divine responsibility. Like, I have a role here to play, and we have to, like, be aware of what we're bringing to the table. Like, energetically, are we perpetuating pain patterns and cycles, or are we, again, like, shedding the skin and integrating new patterns? Because the connection between man and woman is meant to be sacred. And, we can just look around, and there's not much that resembles sacred. I mean, I have a few examples in my personal life, and I'm so grateful for those examples. And they're shining examples of partnership. And, like I said, those few short years with Frank, I got to experience that. And I always felt cheated after he died, like really cheated. And it took, a lot of years to get myself back to a point, moving through the grief, we've moved twice since he's passed, and, life. I work outside of the house now. I have a job outside of the house, and, it's a different life. And, hindsight, I sit here tonight or this morning, and, it's like, I'm ready. And I trust that, it's on its way. He's on his way. And until then, I will continue to do what I'm here to do, as we all should, right? And I feel like the biggest message is just being open. And remember that question we got for this full moon. What are your default settings? Like, your go-to reactions when it comes to interaction and connections with others and with yourself, because we're the only ones that hold ourselves back. Just because we haven't done something successfully, I believe in, I have faith that I am going to experience my fairy tale ending, the one I've been dreaming about since I was a little girl. And that's really nothing like I don't need a castle or anything like that. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's just about, again, having the connection, the person to, do the back half of life with. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like it's really about us, like showing up for ourselves. And, yeah, I'm going to have like the love of a lifetime. And it's funny because Frank always had, like, he had my name, like he had my number programmed in his phone, love of my life. And, like I said, since that visit from him in November, I just feel it. I feel like this is the year, and my whole role is to continue to show up for myself. I actually really strongly feel like I've met the person, and it's a part of doing things different is allowing people to go through what they have to go through as well. And at this tender age of life, there's nothing that there's no reason to chase anything, really. Just be the magnet, draw into our experience that which we desire, which is an extraordinary love, the lover of lifetimes. And I guess that's a part of not allowing ourselves to get hard, right? In a world where we've experienced unsuccessful connections with others. And yet, if we learn something about ourselves in those connections, then perhaps it wasn't unsuccessful at all. If we shared moments of, true, if we can look back on our connections with grace, and not, bitterness and resentment and anger, then we're winning at life, right? We're winning at life. Don't allow what's happened to us to harden us. We've already done that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just choose love. I choose love, and and I'm waiting for a love that chooses me. I have a lot to give. I bring a lot to the table. I'm not, we all, I do my work. I'm not a very needy person. I take care of my own needs. I just really enjoy the connection. And I said the other day, one of my favorite parts of the connection Frank and I had was our morning coffee. Often seeing the sun come up, we'd do a little workout and, maybe go for a walk and then have our coffee talk. And that was the best part of the day. And, I'd say, have a good day as he was heading out the door to go to work. And he's like, it's already been a great one, so that's what I miss. So anybody want me to pull a card? And if you do, let me know if you would like a Rumi card or a Prophet card. Rumi or the Prophet? Rumi or the Prophet? If you want a card, Rumi or the Prophet. Yeah, just be. We should just choose to be who we are, because who we are is pretty amazing. And Prophet. Okay, Rena. So this is, have you all read The Prophet? Oh my gosh, I love this little book, one of my faves. So I found this deck of cards and I thought, well, let's get it. So it's from the book The Prophet with, how many, like 30 of his original sketches or something. So well, it's Saturday Night Live's a new thing, Rena. It's Saturday night, 11:45. I come live when I get home from work. And then tomorrow there'll be like a sound video released. I don't think it'll be live. And then Monday, I think we're going to make it Movement Monday. We're going to do some sort of movement, whether it's like just a small, I don't know, we'll see, like some sort of a flow, like maybe a little dance party. Mondays, Tuesday night live at 9/11, and then Wednesdays, oh yes, you're very welcome. Wednesday is Whimsical Wednesday, so this is about right brain, left brain, divine masculine, divine feminine, merging, coming together. Thursday, coffee time live. I don't know how long I'm going to keep that. Thursday morning, coffee time. And then Friday, the Sacred Rebel. Rebel. So anyways, okay, Rena, let's see what we've got for you. Two. Number 17, the land and the sea shall be bountiful, buying and selling. And then I'm going to have to cover the boobs. And then we've got love is sufficient unto love. So what I'm feeling here, Rena, what I'm feeling is as we, because it's always something for all of us, right? As we tend to, if we look at our body, the land, the physical body, right? The flesh and bone, the organs, and then the sea is our inner emotional body, that space between the sacral chakra. We were talking about that, this sacred sexuality, sacred sensuality. And this card is very like sensual. I wouldn't say it's sexual, it's sensual, right? Like, I just don't want to get, as I'm trying to grow the channel, I don't want to get any strikes and I have to start all over again. Although I'm good at that. It feels like this buying and selling, we're not here to sell our soul. We're not here to compromise what we know. We are not here to be a part of this hive mind collective mind anymore, because it does create this oppression, and we can just see it generationally. You know, like the children now seem to struggle more, and you know, they're exposed to so much more because of the handheld technology than previous. And so this really, what I'm really trying to say, what they're trying to get me to spit out here is, you are enough. What you do is enough. You bring a lot to the table energetically, to this collective feast. Let us be the seeds that initiate the collective feast and the perpetual abundant harvest that all of us need, deserve, and are worth. I'm going to just get into the guidebook here, because I'm just like this card. I mean, ultimately, it is about love and showing up for ourselves, and what we see in the mirror. We've got an 8 there, and we have the 3 here. If you add them together, you've got the 11. We're each here, everybody here, whoever finds this video, whenever you find it, you're here for great purpose. You're here for spiritual purpose. So it's time to start acting on purpose, and love is an action. Yeah. 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 You first. I mean, we cannot serve, and that's the entire focus, and that's the breaking of these patterns, right? What are our default settings? I think you might have missed that at the beginning, Rena. And we'll talk more about that on Tuesday night, the live just before the full moon. But this is the question that came. It was heart of the matter. First of all, I wrote heart of the matter. We are all of it. Like, we're the matter, and it's our heart that matters. The hive mind equals and creates this collective oppression. And so then the question was, what are your default settings? Your go-to reactions. Break the pattern. So that's what this Leo full moon is really about, breaking the pattern. And sometimes the pattern is, maybe the pattern is not showing up for ourselves, putting everyone else's needs first. Yet, how are we ever going to draw the support and stuff into our experience if we don't put ourselves first? Like, I'm over here filling my cup, doing my thing. And when, you know, when the yang to my yin, when the counterpart arrives, open heart and, you know, welcoming. And so right now it's like focusing on what we can do to support ourselves in being the fulcrum, the balance point, as the pendulum swings, as the scales are, you know, balanced, imbalanced, rebalancing, all that kind of stuff. So the land and sea, buying and selling. I think I'll just go to the back of the book and read the entire one, buying and selling, because so it says, so this is from the prophet, buying and selling. And the merchant said, "Speak to us of buying and selling." And he answered and said, "To you the earth yields her fruit, and you shall not want if you but know how to fill your hands. It is in exchanging the gifts of the earth that you shall find abundance and be satisfied. Yet unless the exchange be in love and kindly justice, it will not but lead some to greed and others to hunger." Duh. where we are now, right? When in the marketplace you toilers of the sea and fields and vineyards meet the weavers and the potters and the gatherers of spices. Invoke then the matter spirit of the earth to come into your midst and sanctify the scales and the reckoning that weighs value against value. And suffer not the barren handed to take part in your transactions, who would sell their words for your labor. To such men you should say, come with us to the field, or go with us to your brothers, or to the sea, and cast your net. For the land and the sea shall be bountiful to you, even as to us. And if there comes the singers and the dancers and the flute players, buy of their gifts also, for they too are gatherers of fruit and frankincense, that which they bring through fashioned of dreams is remnant and food for your soul. Oh my gosh, I can't read it all. It's pages and I don't have, right? it's this one's long. Yeah, absolutely. It's a long one, so I'm not really going. This one actually is like 4 pages. That's ridiculous. Oh, no, it's not. I turned the page. I will finish. And before you leave the marketplace, see that no one has gone his way with empty hands. For the master spirit of the earth shall not sleep peacefully upon the wind till the needs of the last of you are satisfied. And that's the key. And that's what we're here for, right? No child upon this earth should be going to bed hungry. No child upon this earth should be going to bed thirsty. No child on this earth should be going to bed feeling unloved and unworthy and undeserving of being here. And so, for those of us who have ever felt this way, it is so important that we fulfill our role in healing that child that lives within the experience, so that we can fulfill our role in going out there and being one who sufficiently shines our love into the world, and is the voice, is the energy that uplifts and inspires others, instead of the one that's trying to get us into the hive mind and stay in the trap with the rest of the herd. No, that's not what we're here for. My team is like encouraging me, headed up by Frankie Baby at this time, like, get out there and do your thing, woman. Do your thing. Okay, so I don't know. This card is for all of us. Yeah. Can I? Are you okay to give me your daughter's name, Rena? So this card is for all of us. Like the ocean is your God self, it remains forever undefiled. Defiled, number 18, which is a 9. See, and wasn't I saying earlier, Lexi, okay. Wasn't I saying earlier about like really taking seriously our role as a drop in the ocean, because that ripples out for eons of time, beyond timelines, beyond time and space, generations from now. The good deeds, the good words, the love that we shared is still going to be growing. And so it's so important to trust and have faith in the knowing that you're an eternal soul, and that we are eternally connected to source, to a loving God who wants nothing more for us than to live our dreams in the flesh, to answer no more to these people outside of ourselves. That buy and sell card was deep, and we live within a system that's been created around all of that. I don't think our creator's very happy with all the starving children, with all the wars, or usually old white man wars that the young, white, black, and brown children fight. Right? We've got to stop that. Oh, and the card, this is about the crime and punishment. So let's get Lexi a card. Does Lexi want a Prophet card or a Rumi card? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Our children, though, it's time. I've had to, mine has really come along nicely. Okay. Oh, whoa. There we go. I say Prophet. Excuse us, Lexi. I guess you did. Oh. Aw. Okay, so I gotta have to cover here. We got some boobs. I think the butt is okay. I just think they have issues with women's boobs, because I think the boys' boobs are fine, but the women's boobs, and what a joke, right? Because they've sexualized a part of, like, women, children have been objectified and sexualized and for years, for generations, for eons of time. And it's such, like, it's so nonsense. So we can look at a boy's chest, but we can't look at a woman's because it's a sex thing. No, a woman's breasts are to feed her children. That's the entire purpose. But okay. So anyways, so Lexi's got 2 cards here. So, sing to me a deeper song, number 41. And let your best be for your friend. And what I'm feeling, this is about Lexi singing her sweet soul song. Lexi showing up and being her best friend from the tender age of 15, a best friend that's going to travel with you through your entire life. Each and every day of this life, you're going to be there. And I really feel like this is about, like, there's something, I don't know if it's like an artistic pursuit. It probably is some sort of creative pursuit, because we're all here to co-create with the divine. And so I'm really feeling like it's almost like, I feel excited, Lexi. I'm almost at a loss of words. I think I don't know. It's like, maybe it's past my bedtime now. But I feel like, okay, so 15, it's almost like you're saying, in some ways, you're saying goodbye to your childhood, because you've now moved into the phase of the young maiden. And what a beautiful phase, and what a beautiful time that you're here. I'm honored that a 15-year-old is joining us here tonight and finds anything that this 55-year-old or almost 55-year-old has to say as, something that keeps them, engaged. You're still here, I hope. And so I'm really feeling that this is about showing up for yourself in really sustainable ways and really being proud of who you are. And it feels like there's something some way that you're guided to create. And perhaps it's not mainstream, right? What are the kids all doing nowadays? Filters and all this other fake stuff that's not even real, AI. But I feel like there's a real talent in you, Lexi, that's like, I don't know if you know what you're talented in. I don't know if you have a passion for singing or music or an instrument or painting or writing or whatever it is. Pursue those things. Those things that allow you to express and be completely Lexi beyond, your family, Lexi, do those things. Be true to yourself. Trust your heart, not so much the mind. And if you feel yourself getting up here in your mind, come back to your heart. If I knew that, I've been making my own decisions, I said, since 1984. And your mom was just a young one. She wasn't even double digits yet. And I was 14 at that time. And, honestly, if I knew then what I knew today, or if I, had someone to perhaps guide me in a spiritual way, maybe life would be different. It is what it is. And I'm grateful my life is what it is today. I would strongly encourage you, if you resonate with anything I say, show up for yourself. Love yourself more, out of your head and into your heart more, and allow yourself to be guided by what inspires you. Go for that. Don't go for where the crowd's going. Don't dress how the crowd's dressing. Do you, because who you are is amazing. Amazing. And yeah, so let me see. I think I'm guided to read the friendship section. Let's read the friendship section. Friendship. Where is it? Of course, it's not alphabetical. Let's see what the poet Khalil Gibran has to say about friendship. Probably something amazing. Everything he has is deep and amazing. If you don't have that Prophet book, you really get your hands on it. It's a great little book. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And the youth. Oh, and the youth. And the youth said, "Speak to us of friendship." And he answered, saying, "Your friend is your needs answered." And Lexi, one really important thing to learn from a very young age, probably like around where you are now, is it's so important in order to make healthy connections and form healthy relationships and ultimately, hopefully, a healthy partnership with someone, is to be able to show up for yourself in ways that show you care about yourself and you love yourself, because how you treat yourself is how you show others how to treat you. And don't ever settle for less than you deserve. And that begins with your relationship with yourself. When you look in the mirror, even if you've got a zit or whatever, whatever, we all have our stuff, and yet we're still beautiful. It's about the light that shines from your eyes. It's about, how your eyes light up when you smile. Those are the things that are of great value. So your friend is your needs answered. He is your field which you sow with love and reap with thanksgiving. And he is your board and your fireside. For you come to him with your hunger and you seek him for peace. When your friend speaks his mind, you fear not that the nay in your own mind, nor do you withhold the I. And when he is silent, your heart ceases not to listen to his heart. For without words in friendship, all thoughts, all desires, all expectations are born and shared with joy that is unclaimed. When you part from your friend, you grieve not, for that which you love most in him may be clearer in his absence in the mountain to the climber is clearer from the plain. And let there be no purpose in friendship save for the deepening of the spirit. For love that seeks aught but the disclosure of its own mystery is not love, but cast a net forth, that only the unprofitable is caught. And let your best be for your friend. If he must know the ebb of your tide, let him know its flood also. For what is your friend that you should seek him with hours to kill? And so instead of, I'm really feeling with that, I'm still feeling like what I'm feeling with that is like, in the time, a lot of times we can be looking outside of ourselves to be entertained, for things to do. Lexi, it feels like there's something creative that wants to be born through you. And it doesn't look like what anyone else is doing. It doesn't look like what anyone else has done. It's unique to you. And I would say go for it. Like, if you got nothing else from here, be your friend, particularly as you go through maidenhood and move into, young adulthood. Show up for yourself first and foremost, because you matter. And you are the matter, the physical vessel in which a heart beats. And that heart is home to an eternal soul who is here on the earth now for a spiritual purpose, which is eternal soul growth. And love is the main ingredient for all of us. So there we have it. Ta-da! Ta-da! Jazz hands. Saturday night jazz hands. Well, Sunday morning. Okay. So I'm going to pull a Rumi card for us to close this out. I feel. Creatrix, did you want me to pull one specific for you? Or so glad you're all here tonight. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up. Lexi, thanks for showing up. Of course. So it's a number 39, which is a 12. Have a wonderful night, miss. Oh my gosh, that's like the young guys at work who are in their early 20s, and they'll be like, thank you, miss. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you must be like not long out of high school, right? Calling me miss. I like that. And they're like, oh, you don't like it? I'm like, I love it. It's better than ma'am or madam. Miss is good. You are so welcome. Thanks for showing up here, Lexi. You're a gift to this live tonight. Saturday Night Live with Lisa and Lexi. Let's do it. I'll be back here next week. Thanks. Aw, I bet you are too. Okay, so Creatrix, Prophet or Rumi? I've got 2 Rumi cards for us, and this one keeps showing up. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. The Merciful Mother Jamal, number 44. Angels, we walk with angels. Why do I saw something today that said the difference between the angels in spirit and the angels here on earth is the angels in spirit know what they are, right? And so there's many angels that walk here upon the earth. And this really comes back to our very first card out, which was Isis. And this is about the divine feminine. This is about the divine feminine showing up for herself and knowing that we walk with a region of light. Oh, no. That's it's totally cool, Rena. Give my heart to Lexi's heart. Awesome. And that's awesome for me too. What a gift. What a gift. What a gift. Thank you so much. So yeah, it's really about us, all of us here. I don't think there's any men here. All of us ladies here. This is the time. Lexi, you're in the maidenhood. You're in the beginning phases, and your mom's in the mom phase, and I'm up there in the older gal phase, probably moving towards crone, although I'm still a mom, but I think it's about what goes on in our body. So if it's what goes on in our body, something there stopped. So, I'm moving on to the next stage. And I miss that stage. I miss that flow. Yeah, I think I am. I think I am, but I like to keep a childlike sense of wonder, and like my 21-year-old probably doesn't think I'm as cool, although I think he knows I'm pretty darn cool. So anyways, I'm going to pull a prophet card for you, creatrix. I know 15 is challenging in this day and age, and that's what I was saying, and my that colleague at work that lost her 13-year-old grandson. There is power in everything we do and say. And I think that's really important. And probably for the youth today, those of us who are like my vintage and, maybe even the other ladies here, your vintage, we didn't grow up with handheld technology. We had a lot of challenges back in those days too, but we didn't have the challenge of like, $1,000 technology in our hand, which, is a device that really has separated the people. I mean, back in the day, if there was like going to be a fight or whatever, you'd hear about it at school. It would take place in the parking lot, two people duke it out, and that was that. Nowadays, it's absolutely horrific what goes on. Um, uh, like there's no one showing up for each other. They show up, there's a fight, maybe an invite goes out on social media about this fight or this whatever, and then people stand around and record it, and it's absolutely disgusting. There's nothing cool about that. I've seen even some of the younger people in their late 20s and 30s watching these bullshit. It's terrible. It's harmful. I can't even, like, I looked over yesterday and someone had something, and I think it was like a bunch of girls, like, well, there was one girl that was getting really badly beaten up. Someone was obviously filming it, and there was a number of girls like in a bathroom or whatever. I mean, it's terrible. And we do not know what someone is going through. And that child that is no longer earthside should be earthside. Yeah, no, it's not that. No, what I'm saying is that 15-year-olds in this day and age, the devices listen to us. We see it as 40, 50-year-olds. We see it. You talk about something, the machine, the phone, the next day, it shows me things that I was talking about in my like home or whatever. It shows up in the feed. So the youth, no, I'm not, it's not the device. It is how the device is seeded, the AI, what they're injecting into the consciousness, right? And then this kind of stuff comes through, right? And the devices are used. Yes, we had bullies back in the day and stuff, but now they hide behind computer screens, right? Where back in the day, it was like I said, you'd take it, it was one-on-one, you deal, maybe there was, yeah, I mean, there was some gang mentality, but it wasn't to the extent that it is now. And it's, honestly, that's where earlier in this live, we were talking about simplicity and going back to the simplicity, and children need to be with nature. Children don't need to have $1,000 piece of technology in their hand. Children need to be learning. Children need to be taught of their spiritual nature. And it's not about religion. It's about who we are, who we each are. Religion has only seek to divide the humans and to hijack the consciousness, really. So creatrix, this is your card here. It's been pushing out. All you have shall someday be given. And it's the giving section of the book. It's moral values, yes. And yet there moral values, even amongst grown adults, like the moral compass is very low. And that's why it's important for us to be the one that elevates the compass, to walk in integrity, to, walk, you know, in not a meek way, in a gentle way in the world, right? And unfortunately, we've seen the decline of moral values I've seen it over my lifetime, right? It doesn't take much. And then you throw the technology into it. You throw the handheld technology, not just handheld, but I mean, I'm talking about a girl when we went, like, data entry is what we were doing in school. We had bubble cards, and you take the cards to the big, like, operations room where these machines were, and you'd put the cards in and it would put out some code, right? So this is a different time. This is everything at our fingertips. And I'm not going to get into that tonight because it's a little, I don't want to go there. Yeah. So, I feel like this creatrix, this is kind of where we were talking earlier about, coming to us. Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, right. And the adults, so we're trying to raise children, and so, the society and the cage, right, where they're trying to funnel everyone in, the school system, everything, religion, all of it, even, it's just everything. Yeah. So where was I going with that? Just a sec. Oh, right. What they're trying to, like, they're trying to hijack here. They want to take the rights away from the parents to raise their children in a moral way, and they want, parents want their children to go to school and learn things that have value and that are morally above board, right? And so it's we have to, as adults, as we show up for ourselves, then we can show up for our children. And unfortunately, when our children are out there in this system the way it is, it's going to be a constant, um it's a constant reaffirming what is right and wrong, because morally we have an inner compass that lets us know what's right or wrong, right? Like, we don't need externally a government or someone who's there to teach arithmetic or writing, to teach our children about stuff that they have no business teaching our children about. This just really feels, creatrix, this feels like what we were talking about earlier. Extraordinary love, right? What we give is coming to us. And yeah. Wise move. If I had a young one, if my son was young, and still, my son wouldn't be in the public school system. Like, if there's no way. What's going on here? I'm in Canada. And it's just, it's not even sane. That's the thing. It's like absolutely insane. It's insane. And no wonder our children are struggling. And with this situation at work, I said to the ladies, it's unfortunate, because it's really reflective that as a collective society, we're failing our children. And that's not to say that, the parents are to blame for what's happened or anything like that. I'm speaking as a collective. We are failing the children because we're allowing our children to be subjected to things that aren't moral, are in fact immoral, immoral. And we're just like, oh, it's okay. Like, no, we don't have to say anything. And then when you do say something, you're like intolerant. You're a phobe of some sort. Knock it off. Knock it off. So let's see what this card has to say. It's about in the giving section, and then we're going to wrap this up. I do want to wrap it up with this. because that feels like a very healing message for us to, kind of wrap up this connection. And this is really speaking to everybody that lands here. And if you make it this far, seriously, like I've been here for like an hour and a half. It's 1 o'clock in the morning now. This is about everybody that makes it to this part and sees this card. You are a natural born healer. You have innate gifts that only you can open up to, only you can uncover and discover by removing anything, that is in the way of you experiencing your joy, experiencing more love in this life, experiencing more inspired creation, just doing you, showing up as you. Oh, okay. So, giving. You get what you give. That's why when we give great things, we can expect great things. This is what we're magnetizing into our experience. Okay, so here is Khalil's take on giving. Then said the rich man, "Speak to us of giving." And he answered, "You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. For what are your possessions but things you keep and guard for fear you may need them tomorrow? And tomorrow, what shall tomorrow bring to the over-prudent dog burying bones in the trackless sand as he follows the pilgrims to the holy city? And what is fear of need but need itself? Is not dread of thirst when your well is full, thirst that is unquenchable? There are those who give little of the much which they have, but they give it for recognition, and their hidden desire makes their gifts unwholesome. Interesting, considering what we were just talking about. And there are those who have little and give it all. These are the believers in life and the bounty of life, and their coffer is never empty. There are those who give with joy, and joy is their reward. And there are those who give with pain, and pain is their baptism. And there are those who give and know not pain in giving, not do they seek joy, nor give with mindfulness of virtue. They give as in yonder valley the myrtle breathes its fragrance into space, through the hands of such as these God speaks, and from behind their eyes he smiles upon the earth. It is well to give when asked, but it is better to give unasked through understanding. And to the open-handed, the search for the one who shall receive is joy greater than giving. And there aught you would withhold. All you have shall someday be given. Therefore, give now, that the season of giving may be yours and not your inheritors. You often say, I would give, but only to the deserving. The trees in your orchard say not so, nor the flocks in your pasture. They give that they may live, for to withhold is to perish. What we were speaking about an hour and a half ago is shedding the skin. Surely he who is worthy to receive his days and his nights is worthy of all else from you. And he who has deserved to drink from the ocean of life deserves to fill his cup from your little stream. And what desert greater shall there be than that which lies in the courage and the confidence, nay, the charity of receiving? And who are you that men should rend their bosom and unveil their pride, that you may see their worth naked and their pride unabashed? First set See first that you yourself deserve to be a giver and an instrument of giving. For in truth, it's the life that gives unto life, while you who deem yourself a giver are but a witness. And you receivers, and you are all receivers. Assume no weight of the gratitude, lest you lay a yoke upon yourself and upon him who gives. Rather rise together with the giver on the gifts as on wings. For to be over mindful of your debt is to doubt his generosity, who has the free hearted earth for mother and God for father. Wow. Oh, I brought different decks for each one. I have a lot. I gave away a lot when I moved, but I probably still have over 100 decks. So I've been trying to bring more out. I love the Prophet and Rumi. And so on the Saturday Night Live, I use these ones for the Saturday Night Live. For the Wednesday, Whimsical Wednesdays, I was guided to work with a couple of other decks. And so that's just how I'm going these days. And so let's just see just the message. I don't think I'm going to read the whole one, but this is the parting message to all of you who are natural born healers. You have showed up here for a reason. You have gifts, and it's up to you to open, discover, and uncover your gifts. You are magical, mystical, spiritual, human. You are all of it. You are the entire package, and don't ever settle for less than open-hearted connections, and don't ever neglect your own heart. It's so important to keep healing, right? Keep healing our heart, keep showing up for ourselves. So, and this is perfect. This is perfect. Let go of thought. Don't take it into your heart. You are naked, and thought is like ice. Ooh, ooh. You see thought to seek release from suffering and pain, while thought is the cause of your suffering and pain. The realm of creation is outside of the scope of thought. O foolish one, see the opus and behold the beauty. Look in the direction from which the images flow. See the break that causes the wheel to turn. Oh my gosh, the Wheel of Fortune, and you put 1010 there. That's Wheel of Fortune and energy, right? Heart mind. We're getting out of the hive mind, and because we are the heart of the matter, and we are the matter in which a heart beats at this time. So as we close off tonight, thank you so much for being here. I'll be back here next Saturday night after work. I'll be here again live Tuesday night live at 9:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to dive into this full cold moon. And I'll just leave you with the questions that came through again. What are your default settings, your go-to reactions? It's time to break the pattern. With that being said, Lexi, Rena, Jen, Creatrix, thank you all so much for being here. Anyone else who's catching this on the replay, thanks so much for showing up. To all of you, I see you, I feel you, I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you would feel so guided to subscribe to the channel and comment, I do a draw every month for a free reading giveaway. Our next one will be at the end of February. So thank you. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad. I'm super grateful you're all here. You know, I've got 3 live viewers, it says, and 3 thumbs up. So we're doing great. And I'm going to leave you with my jazz hands. Thanks so much for showing up. We'll see you again next week. And don't forget, check back every day. There is something here for you, something new every single day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your presence here is a gift for which I am eternally grateful. Namaste.